So I had the awesome privilege to speak to the Indian congregation this week. It always feels a bit overwhelming. You can see only the top of my head there. Okay. Um, so sometimes it's hard to tell if it's lost in translation, as it were, because there's a period where you speak and then they translate it into their language. So I kind of go over what um, our rabbis put that the disease that we're inflicted with, well, we're not, but the infliction of this disease somehow in the translations of our modern day Bibles has been translated into leprosy. As we know, it was not leprosy; it was a specific kind of disease. As you can tell by the descriptions, right? It's kind of hard to really describe and to picture what this was. But like I said, our rabbis, because of what happened to Miriam, attributed it to it was a kind of a reaction to racism. It was a reaction um, to our speech, cursing people. Uh, uh, and so one of the things that uh, I came across this week was that during this time period, it was shown about a specific tradition that we have within Judaism that pretty much has basically saved us in different outbreaks. So I relayed this story to our Indian brothers and sisters. And so in the early, there were several different plagues in the center of Judaism. The center, as I'm saying, all across Europe. So we were congregated all across Europe. That's where Hashem uh, drove us into the nations. And during this time, from about the early thousands to it would go in waves, 1100s, 1200s, 1300s, up into the 1500s. There was these plagues, and the worst of them was the Black Death, the bubonic plague. And just a simple tradition that we have as Jews, being the cleanliness, waking up every morning, washing our hands, the nedolite, the oim, to wash our hands to keep us sanctified. Um, those little things, our sages say that helped us be clean. And so we have this entire portion of about cleanliness. Now, it's not about these are not sins, right? This particular, I mean, it might be a result of sin that you're afflicted with this, but it's not something that you know you're willfully doing. And so a lot of people will say, okay, well, everything is a sin in the Old Testament or in the what they call the Old Testament, and it's not necessarily true. Some things, like I said before, require a bath. Some require, offerings. And so here is both of them. So Yeshua, when he was washing the feet of the disciples, Peter came to him and he's like, well, if you're going to wash my feet, why don't you just wash my entire body? I don't know what that was about. I don't know if he was like, well, give me, anoint me. And Yeshua said, all you have to do is wash your feet. And this seems to be pointing to what the great commentator Rashi would say in the future. And Rashi would say that because as a people, we get into the minutia of things, right? And Yeshua points into this. This is Yeshua. This is one of Yeshua's nitpicks. And one of the things that he nitpicked was about people dwelling on the minutia of the particular hashvaka, particular walking way, right? So, for instance, when Yeshua saw the disciples, when people saw Yeshua's disciples and they didn't wash the hands correctly in the way that it was appropriate to that custom in that particular household, they lambasted Yeshua's disciples and Yeshua specifically and said, "He's not beholden to our traditions. What what are you doing? And Yeshua answered him as like, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. He called him on the carpet. He didn't say we're not following Torah. It was basically the way they were washing their hands, right? So Rashi says that the minimum for washing is that we should do every day, preferably, this is Rashi, preferably that when we wake up, we wash our hands when we first wake up in the morning. And then he said that to be clean, completely clean, we either wash our hands, or wash our feet, wash our face, and wash our stinky parts, right? Our underarms, our privates and stuff, so that we're not a nuisance to other people around us, and so that Hashem wants us to be clean. Actually, the French, even today, is still part of a French culture that if you wash yourself too much, you become Jewish. It's kind of a slur, right? But it has sustained us through all sorts of diseases that we become clean, right? There was something else I was going to say, but I completely forgot it. So I guess it's not to be told this week, but may we all find our practical methodology within our culture that has sustained us and will continue to sustain us forever. Shabbat shalom.